In first-century Judea, Jesus of Nazareth began his ministry by gathering a diverse group of followers, fishermen, farmers, and merchants, on a hillside overlooking the Sea of Galilee. His teachings emphasized that divine wisdom was not confined to temples, but meant to transform daily life. Historical accounts suggest such open-air sermons attracted crowds seeking hope under Roman occupation. Jesus' parables, like the Sermon on the Mount, challenged social norms by valuing humility and mercy over power. Jesus frequently visited marketplaces, turning them into classrooms for ethical living. In one instance, he intervened in a dispute between a vendor overcharging a poor buyer, a common issue in ancient economies. Archaeological evidence shows Judean markets traded fish, bread, and textiles. Jesus' insistence on fairness, echoed in Proverbs 11:1, "Dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord," highlighted how commerce could reflect God's justice. His actions modeled accountability in everyday transactions. In Capernaum, a local baker, inspired by Jesus' teachings, began giving leftover loaves to the hungry, a radical act in an era where food scarcity was common. Historical records note that bakers were essential yet low-status workers. This act mirrored Jesus' later miracle of feeding the 5,000, showing how small kindnesses could address systemic needs. The baker's generosity, witnessed by Jesus, became a living parable of Matthew 5:16. "Let your light shine before others." Jesus' deliberate choice to dine with Zacchaeus, a wealthy tax collector hated for collaborating with Rome, shocked observers. Tax collectors often extorted extra money, as documented in Roman tax ledgers. Over a meal, likely fish, olives, and flatbread, Jesus discussed repentance without condemnation. This encounter, recorded in Luke 19, underscores his mission to reconcile societal outcasts. Zacchaeus' subsequent pledge to repay victims fourfold was an extraordinary restitution under Jewish law. Zacchaeus followed through by repaying a farmer he'd defrauded, an act that required calculating decades of unfair taxes. Ancient Jewish law mandated repayment plus 1/5, Leviticus 6:5, but Zacchaeus exceeded this. Archaeologists have found first-century farming tools similar to those used here. This tangible restitution, witnessed by Jesus, showed how justice could rebuild trust. The farmer's stunned reaction reveals how rare such accountability was under Roman economic oppression. Water rights were life-or-death issues in arid Judea. When two families clashed over a village well, a scenario attested in ancient land deeds, Jesus mediated by drawing water himself and offering it to both sides. This mirrored his later teaching about being living water, John 4:14. His solution encouraged shared use, reflecting Proverbs' wisdom: "Better a dry crust with peace than a house full of feasting with strife," 17:1. The well's stone trough and pulley system would match archaeological finds. Months after the well dispute, the same families worked side by side harvesting wheat, a crop vital to Judean survival. Iron sickles like those used here have been found in excavations. Their cooperation fulfilled Jesus' prayer for unity, John 17:23, and demonstrated Proverbs' principle that the righteous care about justice for the poor, 29:7. The abundant yield, visible in overflowing baskets, symbolized blessings from reconciliation, a literal harvest of peace. The villagers hosted a reconciliation feast under ancient olive trees, a practice echoing Jewish covenant meals. Men and women reclined together on woven mats, sharing lamb, lentils, and unleavened bread. Such meals were rare in stratified societies, but central to Jesus' ministry, Luke 14:13. Archaeological studies confirm first-century diets. Jesus' blessing over the food affirmed that shared tables could heal divisions, foreshadowing the Last Supper's themes of unity and sacrifice. In a synagogue with Roman-style columns, documented in Capernaum's ruins, Jesus debated Pharisees who criticized his unorthodox methods. He quoted Hosea 6:6, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice," arguing that ritual purity mattered less than compassion. This clash reflected wider tensions between temple elites and grassroots movements. The villagers listening at the door symbolized Jesus' democratization of wisdom, fulfilling Isaiah's prophecy that the meek will inherit the land, Isaiah 61:1. In a dramatic turnaround, one Pharisee, possibly Nicodemus, joined Jesus in serving the poor, exchanging his fine robes for a simple tunic. Josephus recorded that some Pharisees did embrace Jesus' teachings. Distributing alms in the marketplace, he embodied Luke 3:11. Anyone with two shirts should share. The sunset over Judea symbolized both an ending and a beginning, as Jesus' wisdom spread through actions, not just words, a legacy that would reshape history.